How's everybody doing? My name is Kurt Friedrich and I'm the owner-driver for CFRacing, and welcome to our 5th post-race video of the 2025 season. First off, before we get started, I want to thank my family for their support, Malou for helping me with the go-kart, getting it ready for racing, and all her help at the track, and also for filming these videos, which I usually thank her at the end of the video, but we're thanking her now. Also Ty for coming out and supporting us. And then also Tad for him coming out, hanging out, mostly just running around and playing. But he does help. He has been helping loading the trailer and unloading the trailer, going before we leave for the track and then coming home from the track. So he's doing a little bit more here and there. And also want to thank our sponsors, Jim's by Denny on eBay. Jim's by Denny on eBay is an online sales website. Basically, they sell cheap loose gemstones and cheap loose settings for buyers who want to put a little bit of their customized touch to their jewelry pieces and a little bit of their do-it-yourself work to their jewelry pieces. So please check them out and see what they have that you may be interested in. Also TNT Stocks. TNT Stocks is a YouTube video that I created this year. Basically it's a day trading simulation. So if you're interested in day trading or you are thinking about it, please check them out. See what useful information that you can use from them, and who knows, maybe you'll start buying some stocks and earn a little bit of income from it. Also want to thank Quick Signs for their support. Quick Signs does decals for us. They do a great job for us. Really easy to work with. Really kind of go above and beyond to help us out, and I appreciate the work they do for us, and I'm glad to help promote their business. And of course, I'll put a link to all our sponsors in the description below. And lastly, I want to thank you all, the fans. I want to thank you all for supporting us for all the races, for watching these videos. Our views keep going up. A few years ago when we were doing these videos, it was hard to get a handful of views. Now we're getting a handful of views easily, sometimes over 10. And whatnot, and a lot of likes on Facebook. So I want to thank you all, the fans, for following along with our story when it comes to racing. So with that being said, we do have some big news to share in this video. But first, let's go ahead and talk about the race events. So honestly, I was about to not even print this off and just kind of go off the hip talking, because it was, I'll be honest with you, it was a rough race weekend. It started, well, rough race day at the track. It started off good. First practice, ran really well. We were top of the speed chart. First time I was top of the speed chart on anything in clone practice or whenever. We were shown to have speed, but the go-kart was just bouncing tight through the corners, just really tight, bouncing through the corners. I don't want to say hard to drive. I mean, I was getting comfortable with it, but still it was pretty challenging. And then in the second practice, I played with some air pressure like I had before, still kind of staying where I should be, I feel like. But then I went and moved. We wanted to try moving the rear hubs out a little bit, and moved one out. Well, move them in or out a little bit. I moved one out, and when we went out there, the first few laps, I thought, man, you know, this is working pretty good. Went up on the air pressure. I think that helped with the bouncing a little bit. Moved some of the rear hubs around a little bit, and feeling pretty good. And then I felt like once the tire pressures got up and once the tires got heated, man, it got. I don't even want to call it loose. I'll just call it wobbly in the back. I mean, it got so bad that I really thought one of the tires, I left the tire loose and it was about to come off the go-kart, and then I ended up pulling off the track. So what we learned from that is basically what not to do. Well, all the tires were on, all the wheels were on tight. So what we did learn from that was what not to do with the rear hubs. There was a little bit more I wanted to try, but didn't really get an opportunity, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. So we went out for qualifying and played around with the tire pressures in qualifying again, and went the wrong way with the tire pressures. Went out for qualifying, and I was barreling into turn one. too fast and spun out, and then I still was able to get at least one good lap in, and then qualified 9th out of 10. So we went from like top of the speed chart to bottom of the speed chart, but I knew where I was going wrong here, so I really wasn't too concerned about that. So after that, that's when the rain, we had a first light rain come in, kind of paused everything for a little bit. That rain went away, cell moved out, waiting for the track to dry. Then another cell came in, a little bit heavier, and that cell moved out, and then they decided to go ahead and call the race and make it official, because the track, by this time the track was in too bad a shape. It would have taken too long to get it back in shape. They would have really had to gone out there and tear the whole track up again. So that we started packing up. I was helping with the track with a few things and talking with a few people about some of the stuff. And then next thing I know, the bottom fell out, and Tad was out in the grass riding around on his juice box and got stuck in the wet grass. I had to go help him, and then I quickly had Blue, Tad, and Ty just get in the trailer and hang out in the trailer so they didn't get dumped on. And then I was trying to secure some stuff around the trailer to get ready to put it up. By this time I was already soaked to the bone, soaked to the feet, and I said, you know what, I'm already soaked, so I'll just work on getting packing everything up while they stay dry inside the trailer. And then I wasn't even paying attention to how much water was filling up in our brand new canopy, and one of the rods, the canopy broke and snapped. So now I have the canopy literally collapsing on the go-kart, and I'm trying everything I could do to keep the water filling up inside the canopy, and it's like it was raining so hard. As soon as I got the water out of the canopy and got a few other things secure, the canopy's filling up again. So really just had to wait for the storm to pass by to get Blue and Tad and Ty out of the trailer and be able to start finishing packing up. So that was pretty rough. And then let's go back before that and talk about what's going on the track and with the news that we were wanting to talk about in this video. So these clone engines are really hard to drive, and it takes a lot of physical effort to get it around the track with these clone engines. And while it was hot, it was really hot out there, and I'm sweating the whole time. But while I was out on the track, that really wasn't what was bothering me. It was just the difficulty of the bouncing around and getting the cart to move around the track. And to put it mildly, it smoked me. And in the first practice, we ran about 16 laps, and I was smoked. The second practice, even though I didn't run as long, I was smoked. I was worried that I was even going to be able to make 20 laps in both races. I felt like I was going to be competitive, but I just didn't feel like I was even going to be able to finish. And I don't quit. And in some of these races, if somebody's falling behind, they'll just go ahead and pull off the track. I finish the races. I don't quit. And that's even in my military career, in racing, and pretty much everything that I do, I try to have that mentality is I don't quit. But now, what's telling me, let me just say, I'm not quitting, but age and some other health conditions are saying I'm done. So when it comes to racing the clone engine, I'm going to pretty much announcing that I'm retiring from racing the clone engine. I'll still race the Duke car, still race as much as I can, and we'll see what over the next few years transpires with my health and my age, and I'll go as long as I'm able to with the Duke car, or as long as I feel that I'm interested in racing. We're doing really well with that one. Running up front, being competitive, won a race last year, won a race this year. So I know I can drive, I know what I'm doing out there, but with the clone engine, just, gonna cite age and gonna cite health. So it was fun, I really enjoyed it. We are, for us in the past, what was a race win was just be able to be somewhat competitive. Guys that we compete against, if I raced every weekend, I know I'll be able to do it physically, but I can't afford it. We don't have time. We don't have the help to race every weekend. And those are basically the three things that I need to be competitive with the clone engine. Finances, be able to race every weekend, and I need a crew chief. And those three things we don't have, and at this age in my life, I don't think it's coming. So, yeah, it's been fun. I hate that it's coming to an end, but all good things come to an end at some point in time. So, it'll be time to, what we're probably going to do is take that clone engine and have it rebuilt and retooled for Tad to race in the lower class, the 5 to 8-year-old class. So, time to pass it on to the little guy and see how he does with it. Hopefully he has as much fun as I did. Alright, so with that somber news out of the way, let's go ahead and continue on. Our next race is going to be back at Albemarle Speedway. We'll be racing the go-kart. So looking forward to picking up what we've learned in previous races and see what we could do with the go-kart out there. Also, I just want to say that I felt that when we look at how Albemarle was a few years ago when we were there to how it is now, kudos to Albemarle, Dave Nettles and his group. Really had a good time out there. Really felt welcomed by that group out there, and I wish they weren't as far away. We go out there more often. So looking forward to going out there again in our next race at the end of August. Yeah, so it should have been a short video, but I feel like it was a little bit longer than normals. Not a lot of racing stuff to talk about, but a lot of events to talk about. So let's go ahead and just wrap this one up. Continuing on here, again, I want to thank our sponsors, Gyms by Danny on eBay, TNT Stocks, and Quick Signs. If anybody's interested in getting a little bit more exposure for their brand, we are looking for a primary sponsor to put on the front of the go-kart. I have the flags on here because I don't want the front of the go-kart with nothing on it. But if you're interested in getting a little bit more exposure for your brand, we'd be glad to put your logo on the front here. And just remember, you're not just putting a sticker or a decal on our go-kart, you're also considered a member of the team. I want to thank Corey Hansen for his engines, the clone engine, Hansen Performance. I'll be reaching out to him and ask him suggestions of what to do with the clone engine. I have no complaints with the power that's this clone engine's producing. I just have complaints with the physicality of racing one of these. Lastly, again, I want to thank Blue for all our help for filming these videos. It'll be a few weeks off, but until then, don't forget to subscribe, comment, rate, share, all of the above, and we'll see you on the next pre-race video. Until then, take it easy.